Pick up whenever you call. In the parking lot in Tucson. Are you with me? In the center with the roof gone. I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. Looking up, you get a move on. Like you haul, and I know you need to go slow, but we could go faster. Maybe the best.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back. I'm sorry that I took so long. I had to handle something instead of a click of an email. Welcome in, you guys. Okay, so this is going to be quick. This is Judge Aliyah Sabe. She is the judge that did the pretrial for Jarvis Butts. I was watching Tootie Speaks or Tootie Reacts, I think it is. And yeah, Tootie Uncensored. And she had an interview with Miss Aliyah Sabe, and I will be playing that. Shout out to Tootie Uncensored, honey. Hold on, let me give her a round of applause. I am proud of her. Hey, let me give her an applause. Shout out to Tootie. Okay. So we are going to play it. She did interview her. You guys can go see the rest on her page, but we just gonna start from there. We're gonna play a little bit and we're gonna listen to what Aliyah had to say.
Because it's just certain things that I feel like, you know what I mean, just was swept up under the rug all along for Naziah, and this was another thing to me. We're going to see if Judge is ready right now. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. You feel what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and that's all you got to do to support the channel. How you doing today, Judge Sabree?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
It's a pleasure to see you.
Yes, finally get to meet you.
I know exactly. And I want to just say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day just to have a one-on-one. I really, really appreciate it. As you see, I did send over a list of questions and things like that. And you can feel free to stray however you want to. But that's pretty much it. So I'm just saying outside of the bench, just so people can know. Can you tell us a bit of who you are beyond the bench?
Copyright displayed on the section 107. Thank you, Terry. Copyright Act 1976 allows us to make for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teacher scholarship, and research. Fair use is prohibited by the copyright statutes that otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, personal use tips. The balance in the favor of fair use.
Sure. Well, my answer has changed since 2022. I am a mother now.
So congrats.
Thank you. And I try not to identify myself as a mom, but it's hard to do that. So I spend a lot of my time with my daughter. She's 4. She's the best gift I've ever received. So I incorporate things I love, sports and traveling, in her life. So she's going to love it by default. So I spend most of my time being a mother, traveling, and we do a lot of sports. I'm a big basketball fan. So that and family.
Have there been any cases that I say that you presided over that has stuck with you a lot longer, like had a long lasting effect even after?
Sure. Yes, all the time. And to be frank and honest, I go to therapy because of what I've been exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
While a lot of this is secondhand trauma, I mean, I don't even think it's right to even share the details of some of the cases that stay with me. But it's been with young children. In particular, I can think of a young boy who was killed by his biological mother and stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries were so bad from the sexual assault that he eventually died. So that's one that always sticks with me, but there are so many. And it's usually young kids and women, those cases.
My next question that I have is, prior to being assigned this case, had you heard anything about the disappearance of Naziah?
I heard about it, but I'm exposed. I don't even watch the news, and I hear about so much. Because of the docket that I was on when that case came before me, I didn't even watch the news. I didn't read anything about it because I knew that if he got charged, it was going to come to me. So she wasn't the only young girl that I knew was missing, but there was a lot of conversation about it, and I was just preparing myself because I knew I was going to end up getting the case if he was charged.
In recent years, have you noticed an increase in cases like this one?
I can't say that I have, and I think that the best entity to give actual stats would be DPD or the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, because my experience is I feel like it's never changed, even since when I was a prosecutor back in 2010. I see and hear the worst of the worst, and I try to be optimistic, but I don't feel like there's a change. You would have to get some stats from DPD because it's always I've never heard any of my colleagues say, "Oh, it's been a slow month," or crime is down.
Wow.
Now that you're a mother, do you think the case hits a lot different now, since you have a daughter?
Yes, yes.
Your facial expressions was very readable during the trial, but I also think that your facial expression showed that you had so much empathy for a child that I feel like a lot of people didn't express genuine concern for. We have some family members that we've been fighting from the beginning, but the people that we seen on that stand, it was really ridiculous. And how do you maintain balance between professionalism and emotion in cases of this nature? I want to know, because like it was times where I wanted to leap for you.
And you can tell I wanted to because I've always been told that I do not do well with my facial expressions.
No, you don't.
But it also works for me on the bench because I didn't say it.
Yeah.
The record doesn't show it, but you see what is going through my head right on my face. And I wanted to jump over that bench and strangle him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. I can't. I would lose my job and it would not solve anything. But how do I keep my professionalism?
Yes.
I call them timeouts. Mm-hmm. If you notice during the trial, I'm like, all right, we need a 20-minute break.
No, I did. So that was when you was going, that's what you was doing. You was decompressing.
Yeah, it was nothing going on.
Yeah.
To do with anybody. That was me taking the timeout before I lost it. That's what I was doing.
Oh, that is crazy. So, like, what was it that really said we're sending this case to trial? What really was the final factors determining saying, listen, we got to go?
My friend sent me pictures of me, and I didn't realize I was doing certain things. It was when I remember it was the video of him talking about his girlfriends and it was those text messages. I remember putting my head back, closing my eyes, and I want to just say, hey, we're done here. I don't need 22 witnesses. I know you guys are trying to seal this because as you can see, there was no trial. So a lot of times the exam becomes a trial
Yes.
to get everything that came out. But at that moment when I was listening to him talk about,
I mean, when she read that the evidence they found, she already knew what it was. Them text messages, it was a lot of things. Like I remember seeing her face, and you guys, she worked with, excuse me, cases like this. This is what she does. She's a judge for cases like this, and she will go on to say how it's very, very for her it's kind of hard because she was on vacation trying to take a break, just to decompress. And she had to send paperwork while on vacation because of a situation. And she's going to get further into that. But it was sad because she was like, listen, I see this all the time. I see this all the time. And you will be surprised how much of this I see. And she also say how it's CPS fault that they don't remove the children. And they're not removing the children as they should be because majority of these kids need to be removed. They do not need to be there. She even said it. They don't need to be there. But she tried not to do it like that and try to get her parents a chance. But at the same time, she has to do her job.
Finding a third party to have threesomes with I was beyond done.
Wow. When the state appears to have strong evidence, like it was presented in the beginning of this trial, when are plea negotiations, while are plea negotiations still considered? Like if the evidence or the state has this, concrete evidence, why would we give a plea to somebody like Jarvis Butts in most cases?
And that's a great question. And if I wasn't a prosecutor or a lawyer, I would ask the same thing. What people don't normally or don't understand is that there's always a risk of going to trial. And in this case, you didn't have a body. So as much as the law says that you can charge, you still have to deal with the jury. And juries, they are the last word unless you have an appeal. And what they say is the result. And you have to deal with the risk associated with having to put your case in the hands of a jury. Now, with this case, I don't know all the details. Since I've been a judge, I'm kind of just out of the dark. Is whatever's presented to me is what I know. I can't have ex parte conversation. But it seemed like a pretty strong case, right?
Yes.
Even on emotion alone, if you had a jury hear this, but it's really hard to convict when you don't have a body. That's hard to do that. So I can't say why they did it, but I'm going to say this, that there's always a possibility of negotiating a plea.
Okay.
All the time.
Kind of like sort of piggybacking off that. I'm not sure if you look, but he did have it was a part or a stipulation in the plea. To where they said, I just want to know, can you clarify what it meant by a truthful statement of her whereabouts? Because this was something when I read it, I said, well, a truthful statement about her whereabouts could be as minute as I dumped her. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that, can you clarify what that stipulation means? Because I think that's what's really rocking a lot of us.
Right. So when I saw that he took the plea, because I was getting text messages, I was working or something. I'm trying to find what did he say where or what was going on.
Facts.
And I'm like, I'm invested. I want to know.
Facts.
Like, I want what happened to Naziah.
Yes.
So I had to go on the website, Wayne County Prosecutor's website, and they said that the location of Naziah's body will not be released. So I don't know the actual location. We don't know what he.
I feel like Shannon them know where they are. I feel like they know where that girl body is. I feel like they know that girl and that baby body is. Let's put it that way, because she was pregnant when she went missing and unalived. And when I say they, I'm speaking on Naziah and the baby. We're not going to forget about that baby because that's another life. I feel like they both know where they are. Okay. Regardless of the fact, that's another life, because if they would have found that body and that baby, there wouldn't have been no plea deal. It would have never been a plea deal. I think they wanted to in my mind, they wanted the body so they can go ahead and if they find it, charge him with the because there's no jurisdiction on that. They would have charged him for that baby. They would have charged him for that baby. He would have been charged. She would have been charged. Everybody would have been charged. But because there is no thing that like there's nothing of the baby, and that's what they needed. They needed that baby because if they could have found that baby, he would have got worse charges. That plea deal would have been out the window.
Said there's a group of people I'm sure that do know.
Mm-hmm.
Then the question becomes: did he tell the truth? How do we know whether he told the truth about what the body?
That was my question. How do you corroborate what he might have said?
About a lie detector test while he's telling it, or do we like what qualifies as truthful? I don't.
And see, that's where I was left at with a lot of my supporters. I'm like, the word truthful can be very broad in this particular situation. So sometimes people get hung up on that. And I just wanted to see it or hear from it from, you know what I'm saying, a legal point of view, because that was something that was really, really bothersome when it came down to this case. Now,
look what you did with, like,
yeah.
Why would we believe you?
Exactly. I wouldn't. You mentioned that several people failed Naziah. Now that Jarvis Butts has been sentenced, do you believe others should also be held accountable?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say.
I know you can only say so much. Yes.
But
yeah,
I was so bothered by this case, and there are so many young children, especially little girls, who have been dismissed, passed around, ignored, whatever the word is, like Naziah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was person after person, and people kept coming to the stand, and nobody seemed to care about her in her life. Genuinely, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even this woman's fault. You know, do you remember the testimony when the woman said she stepped over Naziah's ID?
Yes.
Several days before deciding to pick it up?
Yes.
It was like symbolic to me of this is how y'all treating her. Like, you just stepping over this piece of this ID, not even picking it up. It's trash, but you're not picking it up. And then you finally decide to pick it up one day and look what you found. Now, it's coupled with had the counselor said something or been there, had the school reported properly, had CPS done more earlier, years before, the grandma, the auntie, that's a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Even King just saying something, hey man, you shouldn't be around this little girl. Like,
yes.
Just so many people.
And in a bothersome part is you had two members of the family. I'm not sure if you heard, but Kiwan and Janelle, who went all the way back from 2022 trying to get help for this baby. And it's like their rights, or they can only go so far. Like, what can we do as a community if we are family members who can spot something that's really wrong and CPS keeps sending them back? Is there anything that we can do to speed this along? Because we do have two members that dated back all the way to 2022 that said, hey, there's a problem in this household, and it's bothersome that they were only able to do so much. So what can we do when a family is responsible?
So I don't know. Well, I do know God has taken me a certain path that I didn't necessarily choose. So I'm now on the abuse and neglect docket in Third Circuit. So I am directly dealing with what you're talking about and having to determine whether or not I should be terminated parental rights, whether or not this should be escalated, whether or not I should even be giving parents a chance. It's a very difficult area of law, but we have to do better. We have to do better. There are times where I'm like, why was this kid returned home?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no clear answer. Reunification is the goal. That's what the goal is. The law says that. But I just had to report something 2 days ago that I learned of a kid in the neighborhood. But then what happens? They come and investigate, and if you don't continue, and it's nothing that gets to the certain threshold, then these children are forgotten. Like the little boy whose mom hog-tied him and dug up a hole in the backyard and put him there. He said to CPS that my mother said she's going to kill me.
Yes. I reported on that case. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I had to sign a warrant on that. I remember I was on vacation trying to take a break, and I got that, and I thought about CPS. Why was he not removed?
Exactly, I agree.
That's the gruesome part. Where you have documentation of kids saying certain things and still nothing is happening. I mean, we know that there's a huge gap in our legal system to us as citizens, and I feel very great that you're on that side of the fence. I'm gonna be honest with you, because you actually seem like someone that truly cares about these kids, and this is something that I'm very passionate about. So when I see people like you that's in, saying that's in the systematic portion of it, fighting for these kids, it make me feel like, we have a little bit of hope. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, my question is, what does
I think and let's go into they did a case of Naziah Harris. Let's go into how we have talked about calling on a mother, right? Over here on YouTube, and there is nothing done. I want to let y'all know it's gonna keep being reports, and it's just gonna happen. When I tell y'all, don't say anything. I don't say anything just to be malicious, right? We seeing that the failing right now of this country, and let's be honest, CPS is failing children. They don't have the funds, they don't have the stuff, and it's very hard. CPS is already halfway booked with children that have been snatched away. Let's be for real. So you have to try to replace those children, try to make space. And then when you try to send them to foster care, is something wrong? There's so many calls about the foster parents not feeding the children, the foster parents not doing this and that. So it's very touchy, or the foster parents are being nasty, or having people that abuse the children around. That's the case, because most foster parents, not all, but most, some of them feel like the kids are a check. They don't see the children as that. So then you have to try to get the family, and try not to have the mother contact the family until they do what they're supposed to do in order to see their child. It's a lot to go into that. And so when I say don't do that, it's because sometimes things that come to light, and you just have to wait on it. When we talk about that mother, we already say there are reports. There are things that are out there. Just hold on. They're making she has a case already. And as long as she has a CPS call or anything that's already been documented and they're watching, that goes into why she probably has modification of her children.
perjury apply within a case like this? Because I can for sure point out at least 7 lies from some parties that was on that stand. What is the point of us swearing in if it's not upheld? How do that work? How do somebody say, "Hey, she's a perjurer. I want her locked up"? How do that work?
Can you also tell me too what the lies were? Because I was so out the loop on certain. I'll get to your answer, but I'm just curious because I was doing everything off of just blind what was told to me on the stand.
Okay, but this one of the lies was when Annette said that he never frequently comes in the house.
That was a lie.
And what I'm looking at from the outside looking in,
we done seen pictures, videos, and who was sitting there smiling like he was at the candy store with all them kids. Oh, okay.
And I'm looking at, why would a grandmother lie about that? Because if this is somebody who shares 5 kids with your daughter, it would not be abnormal for him to be in the house. So for you to try to constantly separate yourself from him being there, why lie about that? Especially when I have you on 5K at a birthday party, sliding over to Jarvis' butt saying why you don't come over here as much. And it makes me say, why do you do that, lady? And that's just like that's one of many. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that was going on.
And I want to perjure her. Can I perjure her?
So perjury is very simple.
Yes.
Once I swore her in and she said she would tell the truth, and whatever she said under oath, if it contradicts the factual, the truth, then she's perjured herself.
Okay, I'm starting a petition because I got 16. I got 16 from her and 16 by some more, because it was terrible to me. Because I'm like, all right, for you to just have to lie about something as small as that is bothersome. Another thing, just being able to go to sleep. I mean, you actually put on a bonnet and a muumuu. You know what I'm saying? As you know, after learning that the person
granddaughter.
is not there. Like, how do you sleep? It was just a lot of things, Judge. And
that was a moment that I was like, something's not right.
Something something can't just be right. You've likely seen cases where children fall through the cracks. Like we were just talking about when it come down to CPS. Do you believe there's room for a lot of meaningful reform?
Yes, there's room for it for sure,
Yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah.
But we as judges, we're the last stop, right? Referees. In my view, there have to be more questions. This is not just run of the mill court case, calling case number, let's get through it. Kids, okay, cool. No, when I see certain stuff, I'm gonna spend the time and ask questions. I'm removing caseworker, I'm changing caseworkers, I'm changing agencies, I'm doing stuff that takes more time and maybe more money, but we on the bench have to be more conscious about, we can't think that everyone who's officers of the courts are truthful, following the law and doing what they're supposed to do. These kids are being thrown away twice. Once by their parents and then by the system.
Yes.
So we are supposed to be protecting them. And that's what we're doing. That's our job, is to make sure that they're protected. So it's just, there's meaningful reform that needs to be had. Yes.
Is there anything about the case that you can share with us that we may not know about?
Did you know about him having threesomes in the shop?
What?
Yeah, that was testimony that was not publicized.
I know you lying. In the shop? So who? Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. I know you damn lying to me. These lock them up. Lock them up right now, because I guarantee it. Lock that auntie and that grandmammy up right now. Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. They need to be locked up as well. And they kept sending them kids over there as punishment. A handler. He was a handler. They're handlers too. And they want to come on here. I'm messing my money messed up. I can't live. What?
It'll be in the transcript, so it's not like I'm violating the law or anything, but yeah. Girls, not adults, girls.
What? Oh my God. Same girls that was the same.
Setting aside your role as a judge, what was your personal impressions of Jarvis Butts?
I was disgusted by him. I had a case before Naziah Harris. He was a defendant. So when he came before me, I was like, I already know
what?
I know you. But let me see, how do I put this? This is how I was feeling when I was giving my statement at the end.
Oh yeah, because your statement at the end, and we're gonna get into that statement, but yes,
I think he was disgusting. I think that he was touched as a child. I don't think that justified what he was doing. He was unhealed. And I'm saying was because we know what happened yesterday. He didn't quite, he thought it was cute what he was doing. I could tell from his interviews, like he was nothing wrong. He enjoyed having women around, little girls, because he had such an empty space in his soul that he didn't see any need to do anything different. He was a monster. That's what I call him. He was just a monster, terrorizing little girls.
Yeah.
That's what doing.
Most definitely.
It disgusted me.
We only just have a few more questions. I just want to know, in your opinion, does the sentence handed down align with the severity of the charges and circumstances?
The quick answer is no. It should be life.
Facts.
Should have been life.
Agreed.
It goes back to maybe we don't know certain things that were negotiated, and that was the most reasonable agreement. Was it 35 to 60? What was he? What, 40? He was 42 at the time, so he'd have been in his 70s, eligible for parole. Life would have been, to me, fair,
warranted.
So the answer is no.
Gotcha. During the preliminary hearing, we're gonna get back to the expressions. It was so many expressions that I think resonated with a lot of viewers that made you look more human than just sitting on sitting on a bench. So I know you said that you just pretty much got a new role, but do you like engage in any advocacy outside of being on a bench and things like that?
Yep. So I always, when I speak to young women specifically, I always give my email and phone number, one of the two, and I say, if you ever need me to come speak or do something,
I do.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, I do. I got something coming up, a mommy and me dance that I really want to do. Okay.
And I always say, use my number, contact me. I've had young girls contact me about stuff that has nothing to do with school, about being sexually assaulted. I've been to circles where girls have just divulged information that they couldn't feel comfortable doing in front of teachers or parents or wherever. I mentor young women. I'm big on young women. Of course, I mentor men and young boys too. But the girls, they need to see that, you know, you can be, even if you have to overcome whatever it is, we can get through this. And sometimes hearing from someone like me apparently is helpful. So I will continue to do it until I can't do it anymore. So I get asked to do stuff. If it's young women, I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Two more questions. I want to know, how did you feel when you read yesterday's headlines? Did you feel like that was the coward way out? Or do you feel like justice was semi-served? And if you can't answer that, don't. But I'm just saying, or just give me your overall feelings of what happened when you read the headlines yesterday.
The first thing I thought of was, how did he die? I want to know. And then when the statement was made that he committed suicide, I said, oh, okay. I guess that's what we have to accept. Let's accept that as the outcome.
Yeah.
That is a coward way to go out.
Yeah.
I was going to leave this earth soon anyway. But I felt a sense of relief for all the victims. It's so many girls that didn't come forward. It's so that wasn't adjudicated, for them to have some closure, especially his daughters, because there was more than one, to have a little bit of closure and some peace, to know that he can never be released from prison. He can never he can never haunt you, except for, of course, in his death, which, I mean, they have to get healing, and they're gonna have to get through all of that as a, sexual assault survivor. But I felt a sense of relief for them. And for me, I want to keep my job. So I'm going to say that sometimes justice does not happen in the courtrooms.
Gotcha. Last, Judge, I got to know, because I got kicked out of the sentencing because of this. I did. I was there. They kicked me out.
That was you?
That was me. I was one. And let me just explain, why y'all let him wear this mask? I want to know. It bothered me just to see it. I hated the eyeballs. He was acting like he was writing some on a legal pad. It wasn't nothing on there. I think we should be able to see the legal pad after the sentence. But why did y'all allow him to let him wear this mask?
Great question.
Yes.
So I was irritated from the first day of the exam when he came out with it on. I knew exactly what he was doing. He was covering his face.
Yes.
He was sitting behind his attorney.
Yes.
Writing on a little notepad. Writing nothing.
Yes.
There's nothing to write.
Yes.
I saw so I'm talking to my clerk, look at him.
Right.
Just look at him. Like, you so you so busy writing notes down. What you writing down?
He ain't do nothing.
And I looked at the attorneys like, I'm just disgusted.
Right.
I can't be disgusted at them. I'm disgusted because they gotta represent him. I was just even the way he came out, he looked too pleasant the first day he came out. Like,
listen, Jarvis Butts pissed everybody off. Oh, they're shaking his head like I ain't do nothing. I can't believe this. You believe it. You believe it. You believe it. Let me tell you something. Regardless of the fact, if they know that, and they gonna get their time too, because I feel like they knew what was going on. They knew what he was doing. And like Shannon said, everybody, if the court gave him a second chance, why can't society? Girl, you was groomed by this man at 17. Like, let's be clear. You a groom, and your mama need to be held accountable too. Because how can she allow from you, your sisters, and her grandchildren to go through this? To go through this. Her kids and her grandkids, like, it is okay. And it's not.
The mask, though. The reason why I did not require him to take the mask off was a simple reason. I did not want it to get appealed. I did not want to have an appellate issue with me requiring him to remove his mask and him having some type of illness or him, they'll appeal anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't want any appellate issues. And that's why I was very careful in my wording at the end too, because I didn't want it to come back. I didn't want this case to be messed up by me trying to do what I can and tell him how I can't stand him and don't like him. Like, keep your mask on. I'm gonna just go over the Third Circuit.
Hey, that's awesome. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. It was really refreshing to see your summations. I think the way that you wrapped up the pre-trial was something that stood in many hearts, because we just wanted somebody to represent, you know what I'm saying, to be a representative of us in a system that sometimes don't show up for us. And I tell people that now we do have an ally in social media. And the way that we use it, I feel like is up to us to be able to get a little bit more progress on advocating for these kids. I just came from something where I feel like social media was the turning point on why she came home. And I feel like as long as we can share something, as long as we can repost something, it's going to be a step forward. I appreciate you coming to sit down, Judge Sabrina. You are beautiful as ever. Congratulations on your own.
And don't say anything. I almost give them the same amount of responsibility as those who are doing it, because you could save a life. You could change the trajectory of someone's life, but you decide to turn a blind eye to it. And I think it happens a lot in our community, Black community.
Amen.
And it's a history of it, and it needs to stop.
It definitely do.
Stop raising these children to, and I'm not saying just boys, because women do it too, to think that it's okay to objectify these little kids. It's not okay. And this case, I'm glad that people saw it and it got nationwide attention, because I want people, if you're not going to change your behaviors, your mental health, at least know that you're going to go to prison if you continue to do this. And I would like for everyone else who was involved to also go to prison.
Me too.
Yes. The reason why people stop. If it's not because you want to be a good person, just know you're going to go to prison for it if you continue to do it. That's where I am.
Yes.
And the young girls who are experiencing it, there is someone out there who cares. Unfortunately, you may have to speak up to 1 to 2 to 3 or 4 people to get there. But there are people who care. And if someone dismisses what's going on, go to someone else. And like you said, there's social media. And when we hear these stories, we have to take them seriously. We cannot ignore, oh, she's being fast. That's not even, being fast. How are you fast?
Oh my God.
Because you were sexually molested as a kid? So you ignore, oh, what does she have on? Oh, she running. No. Y'all got to stop that with these girls.
Yeah, Sabrina, what's your sign?
Gemini.
Oh, because I'm just saying, because you're like hitting a nail on the head, because it's so many people that sometimes just look for the wrong thing. We have children missing, and you're looking for an excuse to not look for them. It's like,
what?
Yeah, seriously. Definitely.
Yeah, always. How about we deal with the fact that she's missing? How about that?
Yes.
Oh, you want to help or you don't? Let's just get I don't need to hear all the peanut gallery comments that have nothing to do with help. Do you want to find her or do you not want to help? Otherwise, be quiet.
Be quiet, please. Thank you. And I say it when we get off here the way I really want to say it. You know what I mean? I tell them
me too.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to say thank you so much for your time. You have a lot of people that was watching you right now. I want to say thank you. God bless you. Because it is refreshing to see people that's on, you know, saying that's in intricate places really care. And I think that's sometimes what we're lacking when it comes down to getting help for Black and brown children. So I want to say thank you for everything that you do. You guys, look at it. It's the Judge Sabrina. We got up in this thing, man. Appreciate it. Put some hearts in the chat. You know what I'm saying? If you love her. You know what I mean? They've been putting their hearts all over, but thank you so much for your time, Judge. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. You have a great day.
All right. So That is all, y'all. That was a good interview. Shout out to Tootie Uncensored. I'm proud of her. She came out here swinging, baby. And when she came out here swinging, she did her thing. Period. Shout out to her. I love that interview with Judge Sabe. Sabe, I hope I said it right. She did. That was a great interview. During the interview. I will be back at 2:00. It might be 1:45. It might be 1:45. There are hold it. I might be at 2. I might be at 1:45. I gotta start my dinner. It's just some red snapper and a couple of sides, It won't take long. So I will be back, y'all. I'll be back at 2 because we finna talk about it. The disrespect that folks have, that people have been quiet, that people have not said nothing about, the wannabe mother of 6 that want to be so important. I am on her ass on this channel. And I hope and I pray that her mutts get it together. I want to thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next live, you guys. Yes. I want you guys to get your popcorn. I want you guys to get your drinks, have a good full meal. I hope you have everything that you need today. We're going to have a great discussion. And I'm not coming to play. All right. I want to thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe to my main channel. I will be back on that one on the 9th. What I am going to do is merge the two. So every time we go live, if you want to stay on this channel and view or the next one, that's fine. But make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell on both channels. All right. Listen, it's spring, summertime, March Madness is about to end. We finna keep the madness going. We're not stopping. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.